Hello and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. I'm Claire Pride, filling in for Annette Young. Coming up, the power of social media, #MeToo sparking an international conversation about sexual harassment and abuse. I'll be discussing the merits of femvertising, or female empowerment advertising, with New York-based creative director Carrie Ingoglia. And galloping into a male-dominated world, you'll meet Qatar's first female jockey. We start with millions of women across the world of all ages, backgrounds, and in various industries sharing their experiences of sexual harassment and abuse on social media. #MeToo started trending in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein scandal. And there's another hashtag changing the language. It's him, though, which encourages men to take responsibility. Julia Kim reports.
Age, race, class, creed. As stories flooded Facebook and Twitter, it became clear sexual assault knows no bounds, and that this is the norm. Many of their victims stayed silent. Many of their abusers were never held accountable for their deeds. But a simple hashtag has shaken the status quo. Me Too joined the ranks of another top trending phrase. Balance ton porc, or squeal on your pig, was tweeted by French journalist Sandra Müller.
It's a way to talk, to take a first step. Once they talk about it, they can think about it, see the reactions, and tell themselves that maybe they can take the next step, maybe go to the police station, or not.
Italy's answer to Me Too and Balance ton porc was started by writer Giulia Blasi with the hashtag Quella volta che, or that time when.
Our first goal was to give a voice to the victims, and the second was to remove the guilt. It is not their fault.
But there's been backlash against the Me Too hashtag. Some argue it puts the burden on women to share their painful stories. British journalist Liz Plank launched the campaign Him Though, challenging men to take responsibility and own up to their actions. The countless stream of celebrity testimonies have certainly lent weight to the Me Too hashtag, but it's unlikely that this will be enough to create real change.
It's going to take more than wealthy white women or even other actors to come forward to make real substantive policy differences. It's going to take organizations on the ground, not just online, but also offline, working over the long term to affect change.
This isn't the first time the issue has generated online buzz, only to peter out. A year ago, a similar campaign was launched after Donald Trump sparked outrage with this incident caught on tape. But this time, sexual harassment allegations have crushed the careers of film mogul Harvey Weinstein and Amazon Studios chief Roy Price. Whether this marks a sea change is yet to be seen, but the social stigma around sexual harassment and assault is being broken down, one hashtag at a time.
Now, the most dangerous megacity for women is Egypt's capital, Cairo. That's according to an international poll of experts on how women fare in cities with more than 10 million people. There were 4 categories: sexual violence, access to healthcare, cultural practices, and economic opportunities. The Thomson Reuters Foundation survey ranked Delhi and Sao Paulo as the worst for risk of sexual violence. As for the 3 reported to be the friendliest to women, London, Tokyo, and Paris. Dove, EDF, Mattel, Always, all brands cashing in on femvertising. That's when advertisers make female empowerment videos. But is this progress or simply about making money? Time to bring in my guest, who's in New York City. Carrie Ingoglia is a digital marketer and creative director. Hello, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Now, in becoming an advertising tool, has feminism been commodified by the industry?
Sure. I think just like being a good housewife and domestic partner was used to sell stoves and refrigerators and vacuums in the 50s, advertising uses the perceived role of women or of any target to sell their product.
So it works then. Female empowerment videos sell products.
I think they sell just as much as any other advertising. I think now we're looking at brands who are looking to sell their entire brand persona, not just a product. So people want to be able to identify and agree with what that brand stands for. And feminism is part of that now.
Some people say, though, that it's fake feminism. Would you say it's worth it, though, making these videos because you're spreading positive messages, perhaps even changing mentalities?
I think it could be possible that it is helping to change the tide. Here in the U.S., McDonald's now sells tiny slices of apples in kids' meals. I don't think they did that because they care about keeping kids healthy. I think they did it because the public opinion swayed them to do that. Do I still think it's better for kids to eat apples than French fries? Sure, so I'll take it.
Now, when it comes to making these female empowerment videos, is it men in the industry driving these decisions or women? Because I understand that this industry, advertising, is dominated by men.
Absolutely. So even though women make up about 51% of the population, as you well know, at least in advertising, only about 11% of creative directors are women. Women also hold 85% of all purchasing power in the United States, so it's really skewed in terms of who's making the decisions and who's being advertised to. Yes, oftentimes there are men who are making the decisions, but more and more women are involved. There also seems to be a skew that women creatives are put on women's brands, quote unquote.
Now, in this show, we're also looking at the hashtag #MeToo and how that has spread across the world, women sharing their experiences of sexual harassment. How has social media changed your industry?
Well, there are a couple things there. Social media has changed advertising 180 degrees. Now the consumer is a huge part of the brand in ways that never used to be. Used to be on TV or radio, brands just send a message, they talk at the consumer, they just tell you what they want you to know. Now consumers are part of a brand conversation, and that's not something you can avoid as an advertiser.
Now, you've written about the advertising industry sitting on its hands when it comes to Donald Trump, a man who, of course, has been accused of being sexist. What do you mean, and what would you like to see happen exactly?
Well, because advertising is run by clients and clients who have dollars, and it's the clients' dollars that pay the bills at the end of the day, there's a fine line between having a platform to be able to express what one feels is right, and then selling a product. And so you never want to do something that could offend a certain population when you're asking them to give you money. So in advertising, we're walking this line where most of the advertising hubs in the States is New York, California, Chicago. We're the coastal areas, most of whom were not Trump voters. And so a lot of the people making ads are not happy with what's going on in our country right now. And we often feel that, we are creative people. We know how to write. We know how to make images. We know how to sell things. Why aren't we selling a better version of democracy to the rest of the country? That said, we have to do it with dollars from people all over the country, and our clients are all over the country. So you can't always bring your political agenda to the office.
That's the thing. It's a business. It's about making money. But perhaps there could be, and you've alluded to this, advertising agencies that only work with companies that share their values. I mean, is that realistic, do you think? Because the same company can sell sex in one ad and then sell us its disgust with sexism in another.
Absolutely. And I think that any agency has to be comfortable speaking a number of different languages, because you're going to sell tampons and beer and cars and anything else, right? I mean, that's just the way an agency works. There are specialized agencies that will only work on certain products or will only work with certain brands, and that will limit you financially. But some people put values over money, and some people need to be really aware of the bottom line.
All right, well, thank you very much indeed for giving us some insight into your industry and telling us a bit more about this trend of femvertising. Thank you very much, Carrie Ingolia, joining us there from New York City.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I don't have to do what society expects of me. The defiant words of Mariam Al-Subei. She's a 31-year-old Qatari woman who decided 3 years ago to enter the male-dominated world of horse racing. She made her dream come true at the well-known Qatar Racing and Equestrian Club. And her choice of career isn't the only reason she's made a name for herself in the small conservative state. Shona Batashaya reports.
In this Doha stable, it's business as usual. Here, Mariam has become a familiar face. At 31 years old, she's Qatar's only female jockey. Despite the Gulf state's strict rules regarding gender, Mariam trains here alongside her male colleagues. The first time she set foot on a racetrack was last February, and though she didn't climb the podium that day, she had already won.
It's so exciting. I have such adrenaline rush. I even want to practice now even more. So yeah, I'm just happy. I can't believe I reached this point.
In the last few years, Qatar has sought its place on the world stage, notably through sports, a male-dominated field. But Mariam Al-Subei isn't shy about challenging tradition on or off the racetrack. Her interview with France 24 in October 2016 drew criticism from her compatriots after she appeared without a headscarf.
I'm not just here for me as a female Qatari jockey. I'm here for every Qatari woman and every woman in the Arabian Gulf.
But the fight is far from over. At the Olympics in Rio last year, Qatar sent just 2 female athletes out of a total of 38.
Well, that's it for now. You can connect with us via our Facebook page, that's France24.51%, or do send us a tweet at _51%. Thanks for all your feedback so far. Do keep those comments and suggestions coming in. Until our next show, bye for now.